an intelligent trading solution. Hi, this is Charlie giving you Saturday's video. Um, so this is another slightly different video here. So excited about what we've got coming out. I wanted to show you a little bit of what we're doing here because most traders, um, what are the issues that most traders have? Sometimes, for a lot of people, it could be lack of time, the amount of work involved in doing things like back testing and all the grudge work that you have, and then finding the trades, making sure you don't miss too many setups and all of that. And what I've been working with a developer is to produce a system using artificial intelligence to run one of my strategies and take that strategy and then be able to put various inputs around the strategy to then go off and do back tests, and then once I'm happy with the back test, then I can then run it as a as run it live, and it will then send me messages and then say, right, do you want to take this trade? It's got XYZ win rate, risk reward of this, and then hit yes or no, and then it will, if you hit yes, then it will go straight through into your account and start and trade on your account for you. So it's sort of semi-automated. So this is what we've been working on, and we're very, very close. I think we're about a month away, but very close to launch of this. And I just wanted to tease you a little bit here as a trader watching this video. So let's just show you a little bit of what this can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select. You can see we've got major currencies, minor currencies, right the way down to exotics. So or majors and major crosses. So what I'm going to do for this test is I'm going to do select majors and minors, and I'm just doing a very, very brief video here. Then I can select whatever time frames I want. If I only wanted to have like hourlies, I can adjust my trading hours and say, well, I actually only want to trade it from 7 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. You can do all sorts with the testing, but for now I'm just going to have it set on all time frames here, but again I can deselect and pick and choose what I want, but for now I'll just have it set on all. And then I'm not going to go onto the patterns or the trend bits because they are bits that are behind the strategy, so I'm not going to show you those two, and I'm going to go straight into the orders. So the market entry mode, the stop loss mode isn't going to make any much difference to you, but it's showing a range here, and I can beta test or adjust the stop loss in for round numbers. I can have, as far as the take profit's concerned, I can have it set to a ratio or to moving averages. I'm going to keep it on a ratio and have that set at 1 to 2 to 1 risk reward, and again I can have it adjusting for round numbers as well. Then as far as risk is concerned, there's many risk parameters I can have. I can set it at like a straight dollar risk, risking however much I want it to risk per trade, and so it'll just stay risking that amount per day per trade. So likewise, I can have it on lots and do the same thing on lots, or I can just have it set at a certain percentage of account, so i.e. the usual typical 1% per of account, or I can have it set at a dynamic. Now dynamic is quite cool. Let's set that at 1% as well if I can get it right. There we go. And what the dynamic does is it does what a manual trader might do, which is to adjust the amount of risk based on the trade that's come through. So this system will backtest over the last sort of 10 years and take all of that data, thousands and thousands of trades, and across all those thousands of trades, it builds up, the artificial intelligence builds up some intelligence about okay, this trade is on euro yen and it's a buy setup, and and all this sort of information, and then it will say, right, okay, well, the win rate on euro yen over that last 10 years across this amount of trades, it's giving an average risk reward of X, right? So therefore we're going to put a slightly smaller percentage of our account into this trade, and other trades it'll put slightly more, but always up to a maximum of 1%. So that's quite a cool little option. So it can basically reduce volatility on the account, so by using that. So I'll start off with that for now. Exposure limits, I can have, decide how many open trades I want to have as a max, so I can do all that sort of stuff. And then I come across to expectancy. Expectancy is basically the reward for any given trade based on the risk and the win rate. So we'll put a minimum expectancy in there of zero point 0.2 for now. I'm not going to explain all that right now. We need to have a win rate. I'm going to put a 40% win rate in there because I know my strategy likes a slightly lower win rate on this one. And then a percent confidence. That's basically filtering out trades where there's not enough data. So if it came up with a trade and it said, in all of that history there's only ever been two previous trades, then they're not going to make it into the test. So it's filtering out all that. And then I'm going to go through to a test. I'm going to take all the data, and then I'm going to hit test strategy. Now it's going to just take maybe 20 seconds or so, 20 or 30 seconds to just test this. So I'll just talk through this so you can see that this is doing it live, so to speak. And I've got a lot of time frames on there at the moment. Obviously, if I reduce like maybe the hourly charts off, then that makes a difference to how long it takes. But realistically, you've got a strategy which is going to give you a load of information in the space of about 30 seconds. So it's really, really quite cool. And there you go. And then it gives you the equity curve. So I can now come down and say, okay, there was 5,500 trades, giving an annualized return on this back test of 88%. Volatility, it gives you your maximum drawdown over that sort of best part of 10-year period. A very nice healthy Sharpe ratio, 45% win rate, average risk reward of 2 to 1, etc., etc. So that's really nice. And then you get all sorts of information on monthly averages. You can look at which months of the year are the best months. There's so much data in here. And then you can go back down, and I can scroll through all the trades, all those 5,000 trades. I can scroll through over that time. So what if I want to then make a change? So I'm saying, okay, that was really good, but actually I want to now so for example, say, okay, let's go to a percentage risk instead of the dynamic, and let's see what that comes out at. So I'll go back to test, now hit test the strategy. Again, it might take 20 seconds because I've not changed any of the time frames as yet. And what you end up doing is personalizing the strategy. So I've played around with this for hours after hours. It's just such fun playing with, because you can test it to your own what you want. So if you don't want it trading on hourly charts, for example, you would just deselect that. If you don't want certain markets, then you just deselect those. So you can properly personalize a test to then say, right, okay, this is what I want. Now this return, as you can see, is a little bit crazy because this one's now coming out. It's the same amount of trades, but by risking 1% per trade, it's giving a 457% return. But as you can see, that all sounds amazing, but look at the drawdown. It's giving a drawdown of 50%. Most people wouldn't want a drawdown of 50%. That's the maximum drawdown it had over the last 10 years. So most people say, oh no, I don't know if could I handle a 50% drawdown? Maybe not. So then you could say, okay, well now I'm going to go back and change that risk, and maybe if I reduce the risk to maybe 0.5% per trade, what will that do? And then you go to test the strategy. So you can start to see just how much you can do with this. There's all sorts of parameters that I can change. I'm not going to spend 2 hours doing this video, but I just wanted to show you just what we've got coming up, which is really cool. So what it does, like I said, is it creates a solution for you in that you can run a load of back tests, and once you're happy with the back test that you've got over the time frames, the markets, the type of risk rewards you want, all of that information. See, that's now brought it down to an annualized return of 145%, which might still be a bit high, given that the drawdown was still 30%. But you might say, well, actually, yeah, I'll put that on an account and take a max risk. All right, you never know, a drawdown in the future might be more than that. But over the last 10 years, its maximum drawdown was 29%. So yeah, okay, I'll have that sort of thing. So you see, its average risk reward there is 1.81. Sharpe ratios, good, and all that. So and you just carry on testing, and so until you create something which you think, okay, I'm now really happy. And you can create different tests. So you can have like a really high risk strategy, or you can reduce that again and say, well, actually, I'm going to go back to the dynamic and just have that set at, maybe 0.8%. Okay, and then test that, and then say, right, okay, 0.8%. And once you've done it, then you can deploy it. I'm not going to deploy it right now, but then you deploy it, and you can deploy up to 10 different versions if you wanted to. So you could have it running into different accounts if you wanted to. Then you would all you need to then do is have an MT4 broker, a broker that has an MT4 platform, and then this will then dial straight into your MT4, because once you've hit deploy and you've set it all up, then we set it up with Telegram, and then it will give you it'll give you a message saying, there's a strategy here, there's a whatever the strategy is, it's got XYZ win rate based on the historical results, and and it's got 2-to-1 risk reward, whatever it might be. Do you want to take that trade? And then you then can say yes or no, and then when you do that, then it will then send that trade straight into your account. So then you have the final say there. So it is really, really cool. What it's basically doing is taking all the legwork out of trading for you, because I've put in one of my strategies into this, the DST strategy, and it's come up very, very good in all of the testing here, and very solid results. And so then you can then just personalize it, like I've said, with all these different parameters, and then just go off and trade it in your own way, in that semi-automated way. So I thought, this is what's coming, and like I said, hopefully in the next month, this is what's going to be coming. So I've been working on it with a programmer all year, but there's not really much point saying too much, because I've done it in the past. I've said something, and then it goes on and on and on, and but we are now, I've probably gone and said this, we might still find we're 2 months away, but I think we're about a month away, and hopefully you think this is as cool as I do. So this is what's coming, and it's that embrace of using artificial intelligence to do all the legwork, combined with, and it only takes the programmer, I'm having to pay him to put my strategies in, so you can't say, oh, can I put one of mine in? No, it doesn't work that way. It's an EzeeTrader system, so to speak. So we're putting in we'll end up putting a couple of strategies in, and but we're starting off with the DST one, and then we'll see about anything on top of that. But yeah, and then you then get to have a license. That's what will happen, is you'll get a license to then utilize it to yourself, and then you can then run all that, and then you will have the option further down the line to actually go fully automated if you really wanted to as well. So sexy times ahead. Right, I shall leave that with you. Have a nice weekend. By all means, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments section below on YouTube, or even if you're watching this video on our website as well, you can do that as well. By all means, fire any questions in if you've got any. But enjoy your weekends. I'll see you next week. Take care for now.